Welcome to the Oasis. My name is Mike, and this is the State of VR for August 2020, your monthly recap of the most prominent VR gaming news. Now, this month has been a bit of a roller coaster. We've had some good news about Medal of Honor, some bad news about Hitman 3, HTC switched their focus with the Cosmos Play, and we have some news from Oculus and Facebook that angered the VR community. But before we get into the news, I want to highlight a game that I played this month that should definitely be on your radar that I don't think many people know about, and that is The Devouring. The Devouring is a VR horror experience which you can play solo or as a team with up to 4 players cooperatively. The story starts when you wake up in a mysterious mansion after a car crash, and your goal is to simply find your way out while solving puzzles and avoiding the mansion's various monsters. I played this game together with the F Reality podcast team, and it took us around 4.5 hours to complete in total, and we had a great time doing so. There's plenty of horror games available in virtual reality, but very few that you can play together with your friends, and that's what made this experience so enjoyable. To make things even better, this game is completely free to play, as it was created entirely in VR chat by some incredibly talented members of the VR community. One thing to note though is that you'll have to complete the game in a single session. There's no way to stop and save the game to continue it another day. So, clear your schedule, gather some friends, and be prepared to laugh, cry, and scream your way through The Devouring, available for free in VR chat on PC. Feel free to share the VR games and experiences that you've been enjoying this month in the comments down below. But whilst we're on the subject of games, let's start with the good news and talk about Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Because last week we got a brand new trailer for the game which showed a gritty World War II campaign where you'll be collaborating with the French resistance to sabotage Nazi operations behind enemy lines. The trailer teased some incredible set pieces such as jumping out of planes and being part of the first wave of landings on Omaha Beach, which I have no doubt is going to be an intense and unforgettable experience. The game's been in development for 3 to 4 years now and has been built from the ground up for virtual reality by the amazing team at Respawn Entertainment. They're no strangers to immersive storytelling or first-person shooters, having previously made the Titanfall games, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Apex Legends. Along with the single-player story campaign, Upload VR confirmed the game will also include online multiplayer modes such as Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Sabotage. From interviews I've seen from Respawn about the game, they want to show respect for veterans and survivors by telling their stories and giving players a small taste of what it would have been like to be in the boots of these brave men many years ago. As we've had a year of focusing mainly on Oculus Quest content, I'm definitely looking forward to a full-fat VR game that could only be possible on PC. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond will be releasing in the holidays as an Oculus exclusive title for Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest using Oculus Link. And now for some not so great news about Hitman 3. Now, when Hitman 3 was teased this month as getting PSVR support on PlayStation 4, it got me super excited. The thought of creeping around as Agent 47 and taking down targets in virtual reality sounded great. Not only would the new game be playable in VR, but the whole Hitman trilogy in one package. However, since then some further details have surfaced as the game's developers IO Interactive hosted an AMA on the PlayStation VR subreddit. When asked about the game's controller options, the developers replied, "The current version of the game is not using Move controllers, it's using the DualShock. We are, however, utilizing the motion-controlled tracking and gyro in the DS4 to the max. There are many reasons for us ending on this decision, but to be honest, we think that we have found a perfect fit for the game through this hybrid control scheme." So sadly, it seems we won't be garroting targets with full motion controls, but with a gamepad instead, which I think is a real shame. I remember playing Resident Evil using the DS4 as they didn't have Move controller support and the game experience was still fun, but that was over 3 years ago, and expectations of VR games has changed since then. And while I appreciate that implementing a VR mode into a non-VR game is no easy feat, just look at the excellent job Hello Games did implementing VR into No Man's Sky. But let me know what you guys think of this. Are you still excited to play Hitman 3 in VR despite not having any Move controller support? Let me know in the comments. Hitman 3 will be releasing on PS4 with PSVR support in January 2021, and the game will also be releasing as an Epic Store exclusive title on PC at the same time. However, VR support is probably unlikely, especially if the game only supports the DualShock on the PSVR, but I'll be sure to keep you all updated once we have more information. And now, let's talk about Oculus and Facebook. If you're already living inside the VR bubble, no doubt you would have heard the news about this already, but starting from October, all new users to the Oculus platform, including Rift and Quest, will need to log in using a Facebook account. For those of us that have been on the Oculus platform for a while, we'll still be able to continue to use our Oculus IDs for another 2 years. But from January 2023, all Oculus IDs will be phased out, and a Facebook account will be required going forward. And this is important, for all new headsets, including the rumored next Oculus Quest, even if you have an established Oculus ID, you'll still need to log in using a Facebook account. Now, the response to this news has been overwhelmingly negative from the community, and everyone has their own opinion and stance on the situation. It certainly sucks not to have options, and forcing users is always going to lead to upset and anger. There's no doubt in my mind that this forced change will steer people away from the Oculus platform in the future, but it's clear that Facebook are trying to reach a much wider audience, far beyond the VR enthusiast and gaming crowd. Whether this move will help them push closer to their ultimate goal of reaching 1 billion people in VR, well, only time will tell, and it'll be interesting to track over the coming months and years going forward. Continuing with the Oculus and Facebook news, they recently announced their yearly VR and AR event, but it won't be called Oculus Connect. Instead, it will be called Facebook Connect. The event will be an online-only event, live-streamed from Facebook Reality Labs' Facebook page on the 16th of September, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Facebook Reality Labs is the name going forward, for which Facebook will unify all teams working on Oculus, AR, home devices, neural interfaces, and long-term research initiatives going forward. If the rumors are to be believed, we can expect a new Oculus headset to be announced during the event. I've talked about the rumors and my personal predictions in a previous video, which I'll link up here right now. All I'll say is that if you're in the market for a VR headset at the moment, I'd urge you to wait and see what happens at the event. It's also likely that we'll be hearing more about Facebook Horizon, which I'll be talking about shortly, and I'm intrigued if we'll hear more about their plans for augmented reality in the future. John Carmack tweeted about the show this week, stating, "Everything will be pre-recorded with nice production values, but I will be giving my talk live in my typical fashion." So although Oculus Connect may not be the same, at least we can count on Carmack to never change and deliver a talk that is always one of the highlights of the show. And that brings me nicely onto Facebook Horizon, because last week we got a brand new trailer for the new social platform, and I wouldn't be surprised if this launched during the Facebook Connect event, or at least very shortly after. Many people I know are checking out Horizon already, as private beta invites have been sent out randomly across the community, so more people have been coming forward about their experiences with it, and so far the initial reactions have been quite positive. The whole idea around the platform is that anyone can create their own worlds using a set of easy-to-use tools without any prior development knowledge. And then they can have up to 8 friends and family over to hang out or play in these worlds together. Along with the trailer, we also got a Horizon safety video, which covered a few key safety features of the new platform. You can set your personal space boundaries, you can have tools to instantly mute, block, or report other players, which is pretty standard on a social platform. But the one feature that really stood out for me is that your VR experience in Horizon will be constantly recorded in the background on your headset. This means that if you need to report inappropriate behavior, a clip of the last few minutes of your experience will be sent directly to a team of safety specialists at Facebook that will review the footage and act accordingly. These safety specialists also have the ability to remotely monitor the activity to see and hear what's going on in real time, and also record that activity. Anyone found breaking the rules will be banned in Horizon. And I get that if something is happening like racism, hate speech, or even as far as online grooming, that providing evidence of that can be tricky on other social platforms. So using this feature ensures that evidence is always available to make the appropriate action. So while the recording functionality will assist in weeding out the rotten apples in the community and making it a safer environment, there's also an argument that this surveillance will possibly prevent people from talking or behaving freely. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Of course, getting the balance right in social VR is hard. Take Rec Room, for example. I personally can't stand it in there anymore, as it's just filled with incredibly annoying kids. Maybe the 13-year-old age limit to have a Facebook account required for Horizon will prevent this, or maybe kids will just use their parents' Facebook accounts instead. I'm not quite sure. VR chat is a much more interesting alternative, and I'm sure will continue to thrive with its custom avatars and anonymity, where people can freely express themselves and be whoever they want to be. But overall, with Horizons, I think the community-made content is a great feature, and it's something that has worked really well in VR apps like Rec Room, Dreams on the PSVR, and VR Chat, just like the devouring VR experience I highlighted at the beginning of this video. Maybe this can spark a whole future generation of VR game developers experimenting with building worlds in Horizon. But who knows? I'm looking forward to jumping in and checking it out myself, nevertheless. And the final bit of news is that HTC have changed their strategy for its cheaper alternative to the HTC Vive Cosmos and Cosmos Elite, but sadly, you won't be able to buy one. The cheaper Cosmos Play will ship with 2 fewer tracking cameras and no built-in audio solution, and is rumored to cost just $499 US, making it $200 cheaper than the original Cosmos. It seems in a recent update from HTC that they'll be ditching their plan to sell this to consumers and instead will be targeting enterprise and institutions. As we know from the Steam VR hardware stats, which I covered in the last State of VR, the adoption of the Cosmos has been really low, and this is mainly due to lackluster tracking, poorly designed controllers, and high pricing. HTC did try and address some of these issues with their higher-end Cosmos Elite, which uses Steam VR tracking and the old Vive ones. But it wasn't priced competitively enough for consumers to choose it over the Index at only $100 cheaper than the far superior $1,000 Index bundle. With everything going on right now and some consumers not wanting to take the Facebook path, HTC has a perfect opportunity to target the low-end PC VR market with a $500 headset. So this enterprise approach seems like a weird choice to me. It's a real shame that HTC didn't take notice of what was happening with the Quest and really doubled down on a standalone hybrid headset that we all thought the Cosmos was going to be, especially after they teased an image of the headset connected to a mobile device in their initial trailer. I do really hope that this isn't the end of HTC, and I want them to do better, as right now, competition in the VR space is probably more important than ever before. And that is it for the State of VR for August 2020. Before I sign off though, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that supported the channel over the years. We recently surpassed 300,000 subscribers on the channel, which is totally amazing, and I was recently nominated for a VR award for the social influencer category. I hate the term influencer, but I'm honored nevertheless, and I just wanted to say thank you again because this all wouldn't be possible without your support. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it informative. Leave a like if you did. Let me know how you feel about the news from the past few weeks in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. To keep up to date with all things VR, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.